Good morning, eighth graders. Actually, good afternoon, probably when some of you will see this. So sorry for my voice if it is raspy. Most of you guys understand why. So I wanted to get these test corrections out to you for Unit 2A, the linear equations corrections. So there's going to be a total of 3 problems on this. The same steps are going to apply. So you'll sign into Edpuzzle using Google. You'll watch this video. You'll complete the notes on the left. I will post this document as a worksheet in your Google Classroom. Okay, you can either print it out or you can write it on another sheet of paper. You do need to show both problems. So when we get into it, like 1A, you have to show the work for 1A and the work for 1B. Okay, so make sure that you have all of the work and the notes from what I'm going over with you guys. Okay, if you need to play the Edpuzzle again to get them all correct, just send me an email and your name and your class period, and I will reset your video. Okay, so that's pretty short and to the point. So let's look at the first problem. So the problem that was missed the most by everybody was this question number 7 on the test. It asks, which of these equations has no solution? Okay, remember we have 3 different types of solutions. So we have one solution, and that would look like x equals 3. Okay, we have infinite solutions, which would look like 7 equals 7. And then we have what we call, in this case, what we're looking for here, no solution. And no solution looks like 7 equals 5, where they're not equal to each other. Okay, so that is what we are looking for. We're looking for where the two sides don't balance and never would balance. Okay, I'm going to erase that because I don't want to run out of room for the work. But I will write it up above the problem that we're looking for. We're looking for an answer that does not balance. So we're looking for something like 5 equals 7. That's what we're looking for. Something similar. It could be different numbers, but they need to not balance. So this problem does create a pretty good amount of work. We have to solve these. So we would start with A. So we get negative 10 plus 8x minus 7x plus 10 equals x plus 6 minus x minus 6. So first thing we have to do is combine like terms. So if we look at this, we see that, okay, we can combine the negative 10 and the positive 10. Well, if I have 10 minus 10, they will end up canceling each other out. Okay? Then let's see if we have any other like terms on that side. So I have 8x and I'm going to take away 7x. So that's going to leave me with 1x equals, and then I do the same thing on the right hand side. So if I look, I can combine my x and my negative x, and just like the 10s on the other side, they end up canceling, because if I have an x and I take away an x, it's 0. Then I have my positive 6 and my negative 6. Again, like the x's and the 10s, they end up canceling out. So I have nothing left on that side. So I just get that x equals 0. This gives me one solution, that x is equal to 0. So that doesn't work. So let's look at B. So that was A. Okay, let's look at B. here's A, B. So we have 21 minus 9 plus 4x minus 5x equals 8x minus 7x plus 4 plus 6. So I'm going over to the other one. You guys should have enough room on your paper to be able to write this. If you need to, write on a scratch piece of paper. It's just hard for me to try to fit it all on this slide. So same thing, we're going to combine like terms. So first thing I look for is, okay, I have 21, I have negative 9. 21 minus 9 is 12. And then I have 4x minus 5x, which leaves me with a negative x, because if I borrow $5, I pay you back 4, I still owe you $1 or 1x. So I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So equals, I can combine the 6, positive 6, and the positive 4. So I'm going to get something plus 10. And then I have 8x minus 7x, which gets me x. Oops, let me write that in blue. So that gets me x. Now it's a multi-step equation. I want to get x by itself. So I'm going to add x to both sides. So I get 12 is equal to 2x plus 10. Then I'm going to subtract 10. So I get 2 equals 2x. And then I need to divide both sides by 2. And 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 2 once, so x equals 1. So we still didn't get an answer where it doesn't balance. So let's go on to the next one. I'm going to erase the work that I have here. So you guys, I have enough room. Okay. If you need to, go back in the video so you can watch it. If you didn't get everything. Ugh, doesn't like to erase very well. Sorry about that. Okay, so we did A and B. Let's try C now. So C says x minus 4 plus 1 minus 7x equals negative 8x plus 4 plus 2x minus 7. So same thing, I'm going to go in and combine like terms. So first thing, I have an x and a negative 7x. If I borrowed 7x's and I gave back 1, I still owe 6. So I have negative 6x. And then I am going to combine my negative 4 and my positive 1, which gets me a negative 3 equals. And then on the other side, I have negative 8x and positive 2x, which gets me negative 6x. And I have, let's see, then I have my 4, positive 4 minus 7, which is negative 3. Oops, I forgot to change my color, but I think you guys see where I'm going. So on this, if we look at these are identical. So they are the same. So this would be our infinite solution. So no matter what number we plugged into this, it would work. But we're looking for no solution. So now we only have D left. So let's see if that works. We got to prove it. So 3x plus 5 minus 10x plus 8 equals x minus 8x minus 16 minus 3. So again, combine like terms. So I have 3x minus 10x which gets me negative 7x. And then I have 5 plus 8, which is plus 13, which equals, now I have x minus 8x. So I have negative 7x. And then I combine my negative 16 and my negative 3, and I get a negative 19. Oh, let me go over that. Negative 19. So if we look at this one, let's add our 7x's to both sides. So what happens if we add 7x to both sides? They're both going to cancel out. So we get left with 13 is equal to negative 19. That is not true. So that turns out to look like the answer we were going for, which is here. Okay, so we would say that this is the correct answer. So our correct answer in this problem is D. So now what I would like you guys to do is pause the video, work on problem 1B, put in your answer, and then we will go on to problem number 2. So pause the video now. Okay, we're back. Problem number 2 is a two-step equation where problem is number 6 on your test. So John uses the expression 1.75 plus 0.95y, where y is the age of a comic book in years, or comic in years, to estimate the value in dollars of his comic books. He used this expression to find the approximate value of a 12-year-old comic book. So we have this equation. They give us this equation here, okay? And they say that y is age in years. So we're going to write out this equation. 1.75 plus 0.95y. But in the problem, they tell us he has a 12-year-old comic book, and they want to know how much that will be. So we know that y is the years. So we know y equals 12. So now we just have to plug it into the equation and find out how much that is. So if we have 1.75 plus 0.95 times, instead of y, we're going to put in that 12. Okay? So then we multiply. Okay? So we multiply. We keep the 1.75, and then we multiply 0.95 times 12. When we multiply that together, we get 11.40. Now we just add those two together. So 11.40 plus the dollar plus 175, we get 13.15. So that is the approximate value of that comic book currently. So our answer would be C. So what I want you guys to do now is try the problem 2B, which is exactly like this one, and pause the video now, do that problem and put in your answer, and then go on to problem 3. Okay, problem 3 is our last problem. It was question 5 on our unit test. So what this one is, it's just a multi-step equation. When they say, enter the value for x that makes the equation 2 in parentheses x minus 4 equals 6x plus 8. True. So they want to know what is x. When they say what makes it true, they just want to know what is the x value. So we're going to solve this. So we have 2 times x minus 4 equals 6x plus 8. So we have to do our PEMDAS. So PEMDAS. So we have to do parentheses. So we have to distribute first. In this case, I have to distribute the 2 to the x and to the negative 4. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. On the right side, there's no parentheses, so I don't have to do anything. So I'm just going to rewrite 6x plus 8. So we got through step 1. There aren't any exponents, so we don't need to do that. There's no there. So now we have to do our inverse operations. I always move x first. So in this case, I'm going to move the 2x to the right. So to get, this is a positive 2x, to move it over, I have to subtract 2x from both sides. Okay, so these 2x's will cancel out, and I'm left with negative 8 equals 6x minus 2x is 4x plus 8. Now I want to move the 8 over to the other side. So I have a positive 8 or plus 8. So I have to subtract 8 from both sides. So what happens is these 8's cancel out, and I have 4. Oh, let me go back to the wrong color. So then I have the 4x still here is equal to negative 16. Now my last step is I need to move that 4 away from the x. That is multiplication, so I'm going to undo it by dividing. So I divide both sides by 4. So these two 4's cancel out, and I'm left with negative 16 divided by 4, which is negative 4 equals x, or x equals negative 4. Whichever way you write it, it is still the same. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to work on problem 3b. Pause the video now, answer that question, and then you guys are good to go. You will need to take a picture of your work for both of all 3 problems, and you will have to submit it with the copy of the worksheet assignment that I put in Google Classroom. If you have any questions, please let me know. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow.